Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction to read through for Tower of God chapter. We're here. It's Booyaka Booyaka chapter 619, and that's the only time I'm gonna get to say that for this read through. We have chapter 619, season 3, episode 202. Extremely excited as always. Everything about this flashback has been really incredible. So I'm obviously very much looking forward to this week's chapter. I wanted to say before I get into this that no need for a long Haku intro, because I've been saying for the past few weeks that I really wanted to stream and just talk about Tower of God in general, go back through the chapters, do that in depth, just because there was so much to talk about. So I did that last night. There's a 2-hour plus stream up on the channel. You can go back and look at the VOD if you want to see me discussing my way through the past 3 chapters. So I did that yesterday. And I also wanted to say that I'll do a reaction to the anime episode, but it'll be up tomorrow. Now, the anime episodes, I think they come out at maybe like 10 a.m. on Sundays for me. So if I have time on Sunday, I'll do it before the new manhwa chapter comes out. But I didn't have time to do it today before the new chapter came out. So I'm just going to do it tomorrow on Monday. And that'll be how it goes in the future. I'll try to do it on Sunday. If I don't have time on Sunday, I'll do it on Monday. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do the reactions yet. I decided to record them rather than stream them so that I could see how copyright's going to be. Like if I try to put the full reaction up here and it has problems, then I can try to throw filters over it. If that doesn't work, I can chop it up some more. I was planning to kind of... I guess I'll value your input on this. I was planning to like chop it up and like get rid of any parts where it's just me not saying anything, like only leave in the parts where I'm actually reacting to something or where I'm discussing something. That's what I was gonna do for the anime reactions, but if you just want the full uncut thing, let me know and I'll do the full uncut thing. Again, it's just like with the with copyright and stuff, I'm just gonna have to try a couple different things and see what maybe works. And that's also a thing. I think I'm gonna do a reaction to the opening and ending separately, just because musical bits usually have more trouble copyright wise, and I'm not 100% sure how that will go, so I'll maybe post those separately. That, and for people who just want to see me react to the opening and ending and don't really care about the full episodes, then you can just have that separately. So again, give me any input you want to give. I'll be doing that, and I'll do the first one tomorrow. But I guess that's all it. I don't want to keep this intro going on any longer because, like I said, I discussed the past 3 chapters in depth, so let's just start reading chapter 202, or season 3 episode 202. We do get a violence warning. We haven't had one of those for a few weeks, it feels like. Right, oh my god, I almost forgot. I was thinking about Traumare, I was thinking about Enkidu, I wasn't thinking about Ariehon and Grace Murchia Luzlek at this point. Long time no see. Murchia Luzlek in the past. Ariehon. Okay, now we get into the new content. Traumare's Past, Part 4. Ariehon, I didn't expect to see you here in person. Okay. And I feel like with the way that Ariehon was like the first one to come confront him, it kind of feels, in the way Ariehon's kind of been like standoffish from the others, hasn't really been hanging out with Traumare like the others has. It feels like he just came here, maybe even on Zahard's orders, to just kind of keep an eye on things. It feels like he's kind of playing defensively, almost. And then, tell me, how has Arlen been? Oh, this is so cool. What does it matter to you? So again, I mentioned before where people were just... There were some people last week that were like, oh, what if, I said this a lot in the stream, what if, Grace is V's actual name, and he gave his name to Arlen, and it's like, I think Arlen just has more weight in the story than that. I think Arlen's more important than that. I think she has more of her own agency than that. I think a lot of this is Arlen. I think V's important too, obviously, but I think people kind of overhype V and almost forget Arlen a bit. So again, I like that Arlen is specifically the one that the two of them are talking about here. However she's doing... Is he gonna pull out the hook? Nope, it's a knife. I have to sneak in there before Hon unleashes his full power, he thinks. I guess he thinks if he gets inside, it's gonna keep Hone from going all out. Because I guess maybe it would cause some trouble with Traumare. Okay. Is none of your business. He lunges. He brought a knife to a sword fight. Again, you're dealing with, like, not just REA swordsmanship, but the REA swordsman with just a knife. It looks like... I can't tell. Okay, I couldn't tell if he was getting tossed up or if he was going behind like this, but he's going behind. Using Shinsu in tandem with the knife. And the platform he's standing on gets cut. And Hone, again, just... Wait, his shoes disappeared again. He had shoes earlier, right? Hold on, we're going back up. His shoes are like, what, Yama's pants? Or... Hold on. When they're clashing, are his shoes being torn off? Do you see that down here? I think you can see where my cursor is. It looks like Hone's shoes are being torn off by the Force. Hold on. So is that why Hone just keeps losing his shoes? He's so powerful, his shoes keep coming off? That's so funny. It looks like he's going with his hand. He grabs onto Mircea and throws him. I mean, it looks like Hone doesn't really care about destroying Traumare's palace. He's causing some collateral damage. Mircea steadies himself. the close-up of the Hone grippers, why? You've come to take Amizu away, haven't you? I'm not sure who your accomplice is, but how could you even try to think of breaking in by yourself with all of us here? You're still as reckless as ever, I see. That's none of your concern. Go on, then. And he starts pulling another sword. What? Go ahead and take Amizu. What the hell are you talking about? I thought you came out here to stop me. Amizu's free to do as she pleases. If she wishes to leave this place, there's no reason for me to stop her. I only came out here because I wanted to say goodbye before she left. But seeing that she summoned you here to get her, I'm guessing she doesn't want to see me again before she leaves. Hone's an interesting character. I didn't expect this from him. Like, if he's being genuine, it's so interesting to see how these characters have changed in the thousands of years since. It saddens me, you know? One by one, all my dearest friends are leaving me. Yeah, I really like this character stuff. We got it for some of the others that have been around, but this is like finally seeing some Hone stuff. Sorry, I was just caught off guard by his goofy looking hand over here to the left. Give my regards to Arlen and V, although they might not wish to hear from me. Ha, what are you talking about? You people are the ones who chose to leave. Because... Again, from Mircea and Arlen and V's perspective, they're probably like, we're the same. We wanted to keep climbing. We were climbing. You people are the ones who decided to stop climbing and do your own thing. That is true. Like, when you think about it, everybody else are the ones who kind of quit the... Like, if you were viewing the climbing group as a team, the people who quit the team aren't like V and Arlen's group. Because V and Arlen's group are still carrying on the same mission the team was carrying on. It's Zahard, the 10 family heads, it's everybody else who quit the group. Or have you forgotten? What did you expect to happen after what you did? Oh, again, what did they do? The night Shinsu was cold. Go on now. Man. Damn it. Hey, is that Enkidu guy really human? He gave me a strange feeling when I first met him earlier. And here's the thing, though. I still don't think Mircea is going to be able to take Amizu. I think if Amizu is Lobadan's mom, and I'm still on the Lobadan's mom train, honestly. If he is... if Amizu's still Lobadan's mom... then I think Traumare succeeds in forcing her to stay. I think we're seeing the descent into him just being a really bad guy. He gave me a strange feeling when I first met him earlier, so this is Edwan asking. Yeah, he's human. He's just a little unusual. Unusual. But, Traumeré, ever since that day, you've avoided anything you can't control. So again, we're still bringing up that day. Something that I don't think specifically Hone did, but something that I think in general they did, like the group as a whole did when they split apart, is something that happened at that day. Ever since that day, Traumeré stays away from things he can't control. Maybe that's because he wanted his friends to all stay around, but his friends all split up, and he doesn't like that he can't control that. Again, the people falling in love stuff. V and Arlen being like Wangwan and Nen, something like that. And that's precisely what humans are. Did you change your mind recently? Well, he wasn't originally human. Ah, that's right. He has the ability to transform. How could I forget? Traumeré. What? Is Traumeré gonna actually try to get Enkidu to take over Amizu? There's an intruder in the floating castle. And then, intruder alert. There could be others. We have to step up security. I think he's here to get you. Are you leaving now? Says Yirang, almost called her Hana. Yeah. Would you mind helping me leave in peace? I imagine there's going to be a lot of fighting between us from now on, but I don't feel like starting tonight. Today's the first day that Traumeré finally has a place to stay. Alright, but at least go and say goodbye to Traumeré one last time. Sorry, I was just looking at the background behind Amizu. At least go say goodbye to Traumeré one last time. You know what he's like. That's a really nice shot of her. He's easily hurt. Man, he does feel like that. Sorry. Search the whole area. There's an intruder. Hurry up and find him. Shit, I must have made too much noise. I'd better hurry. Amizu told me which room she'd be waiting in. Oh, we have the snake watching on? Is this the actual odd-eyed cobra or a different snake? I just want to get out of this awful place as soon as possible. And then Traumeré. Okay, so it's a little different looking, but it is the odd-eyed cobra. Traumeré, there you are. We've got trouble. Someone broke into the castle. Enkidu, I want to ask you for a favor. A favor? And then, who's that? Oh, he captured Mircea. Wait, is that the intruder? Enkidu? Can you turn yourself into him? Oh, is he going to use Enkidu transformed into Mircea as a way to trick Amizu, maybe, into staying? Instead of forcing her to stay, maybe he's going to trick her into staying. Where's the intruder? Edwan's running past all these guards. And I wonder if this is just... I don't see him anywhere. He must be hiding. I wonder if this is just the guards are really, really tired from the running, or maybe that's just a piece of his hair. Or if, like, it almost looked like as Edwan was running past, he was sucking the soul out of these people. But I don't think that's what it is. Yirang, where's Amizu? Have you seen her? Amizu? She went out to get some fresh Shinsu. I love just replacing air with Shinsu. I wonder if Dr. Bonehead's going to have anything to say about that. Where he talked recently about when he's doing like towers and gods, and he has to think about, oh, I can't mention this because they're in the tower, they wouldn't know what this is, or this would make more sense for them to say. So like it's like, oh, the sunlight. No, it's like the ceiling lights, or go out to get some fresh Shinsu instead of fresh air. While we were drinking earlier, but she hasn't come back since then. It's just weird hearing it said like this. This is one of the very extremely few times I can remember it being talked about like this in Tower of God. I've been looking, like usually they would just say get some fresh air and like not even bother, but the fact that they're bothering is just like throwing me for a loop a little bit. I've been looking all over for her too, but I can't find her. Really? You don't think she's going to leave without even saying goodbye, do you? Of course not. Anyway, she's not here. Damn it. Okay, let me know if you find her. He takes off again. I will, right as those guys are catching up. Thanks, Yirang. Don't mention it. They're really searching every corner of the castle for you. As long as my perfume covers your tracks in the Shinsu, they likely won't find you. Okay. I was thinking to myself, and after I finished the speech bubble, I was going to say, it's weird that, like, I guess sensing people doesn't work that way, that Edwan couldn't sense her, but it's Yirang is purposefully covering her up. Let's go. They make it to the doorway. And I guess this was supposed to be the meeting place. Again, I wonder if they're going to use fake Mircea to trick her. So, this is the room. Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Chumray made this room for me since I always stare up at the ceiling. And yet, I never once come in here to look at the ceiling. Seems kind of ironic, but if I ever left this place, I wanted to go out through this window. That's why this room ended up being the rendezvous point. Thanks for your help, Yirang. Are you really going to leave without seeing Chumray one last time? Yeah. I'm not sure I could bring myself to leave if I looked into his eyes, since this could be the last time we see each other. When I think about that, it almost breaks my heart. Again, I really do think that the two of them loved each other, but Chumray lost his memories and his emotions with it, and Amizu can't stand to see the way that he's changed. She loved him for who he was, the really sincere person that he was when they met, but he's just not the same. The next time we see each other, we'll be enemies, Yirang. I know. We're enemies now. Doesn't it scare you? And we have the pink flames like Yua's? The thought of being our enemy, I mean. Okay. We have the power to split mountains and seas with a wave of our hand now. We can kill as many people as we like and no one can stop us. There's hardly anyone stronger than us in the tower. And yeah, that feels like, again, a part of how they ended up like this is like they were just people and now they're essentially gods. We're going to conquer this tower and rule over everyone in it. We have to. We have no choice. And again, why do they have to? Because we're so different from you now. This is such good character stuff for all of these family heads. Like, I want to know so much more about them. This is so good. I'm afraid, too. It scares me to see how I've changed. Yirang. I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean to sound like I was criticizing you and the others. I know you can't help being who you are. I don't want my last words to hurt you before I leave. I'm so sorry. Man, this is a really good scene. This is a really good scene. You're still my tender-hearted little friend. Because we're seeing the tragedy of the family heads. Like, that day, the day they stopped climbing, the day they all split, it's like, what on earth happened to them? We see what has happened to Chumray, and now we're seeing what's happened to Yirang. We're seeing what's happened to Hone earlier this chapter. It's like, is it just gaining this much power? Is it losing their memories and maybe part of their emotions along with it? Is it just, yeah, just the power, just being this strong and this disconnected because of it with other people? It's crazy to see what they've gone through. And of course that doesn't excuse, like, they have done a ton of, like, we've seen the evil things the Yan family's done. Like, all of these families, the Pobedao families, like, wiped out Reflejo's entire tribe and tore out his eyes or sewed him shut or whatever. Like, we've seen the horrible, horrible things the 10 families have done and continue to do, and it's just like, why? Why did they have to? This is crazy good. Yirang and Amizu held each other in silence for several moments. This might be my favorite scene of the flashback, because we're really getting deep into the, like, 10 family head mentality. After a little while, the intense heat from the flames began to die away gradually. Then the two of them stood up as though they'd made up their minds, and the woman standing there was no longer a small, tender-hearted little girl. It was Yan Yirang, the powerful and determined woman who would become one of the 10 great family heads. Again, we're just seeing, although she was destined to become enemies with Amizu in the future, Take care, Yirang. Amizu actually felt relieved to see her look so strong. And so, the two of them finally parted ways. Edwan was the highlight of last week's chapter to me. Other than the cliffhanger last week was amazing. But this was heat. Like, no pun intended with them being fire powers and everything. This scene was incredible. Like, I love Amizu and Yirang as characters so much more after seeing this. That was so good. And something else I want to bring up too that I saw people talk about a little bit, just here and there for like years now, is how incredibly good, like, I see a lot of like long-running shonen, which though it's not manga, it's manhwa. Tower of God's a long-running shonen, let's face it. There's a lot that people will be like, oh yeah, they have really good female characters, and it's like, maybe like less than 10% of the cast, and there's a couple good characters, but holy crap, does like Tower of God have some of like the best female characters in shonen. Like, they're written so well and in a way that feels like just equal, like it doesn't matter, like male or female regardless. Whereas a lot of times in some shonen, even the best written female characters just aren't taken as seriously as the main character or male characters. But it feels like these characters are taken just as seriously, and it's like really, really well done. Like when we did the character poll and stuff, like there was just such an even distribution. Like, these characters are so good and made to be so important. They're like not constantly undermined. Hamizu. Okay, and we have presumably the fake one getting here. What are you doing? Why'd you come in through the door? I told you there's a massive window right here. Oh, well, and his hair is not exactly what I was expecting it to be. It's kind of odd with the, I guess those are dreads on top? Not what I was expecting. On my way here, I suddenly had to go to the bathroom really bad. You're a terrible liar, Enkidu. What? The bathroom? After all the commotion you just caused? What the heck's wrong with you? Don't you realize how important this is? Okay, yeah, we're seeing his hair from behind now. It's pretty neat looking, though. It's just like weird the way he has the straight bits out to the side. I thought that those were kind of just wrapping around from the back. I really wish you'd grow up and stop being reckless. So both Amizu and Hone have called him reckless. So I guess they're trying to drill into us that that is a character trait of Murchia. So, sorry. You think an apology makes up for this? I'm not sure what's going on, but this guy I turned into seems to be a real troublemaker. Yeah, it's neat. It's really cool, because it's like, you can see how he's that way. He's just like, well, I guess I'm going to fight Yurik Mazano. Well, I guess I'm going to fight Arie Hone. It looks like Amizu originally planned to sneak out of here without telling anyone. So, specifically, it was Murchia that she knew was going to come, like, take her out of here. Sorry, hiccup. On another note, is this what this woman is really like? You're such a... his face, sorry. I spit, damn it. His face killed me. You're such a numbskull. I'm already beginning to regret siding with you people. She's much more emotional than usual. Sorry. So, where's the flying crane that you rode here on? Flying crane? I mean, wouldn't they all be flying? Hence the being a crane? I wouldn't expect it to be a flightless crane. And then, you were just riding on it earlier. Oh, right. Oh, right. You've always been clueless, but if there's one thing you have a natural knack for, it's running away from things. What's gotten into you today? You're acting very strangely. How is she not putting this together whatsoever? Shoot, did she figure out who I really am? I should have completely possessed the guy's body instead of just imitating him, but Traumerei wouldn't let me. Again, that is interesting to note. Traumerei wouldn't let him. I think, again, there's a part of Traumerei that still views Murchia as part of us, part of the people who climbed the tower together. And so even though Enkidu is his new friend, even though he needs Enkidu to do this, he still won't do so at the expense of Murchia, somebody that I guess he still considers a friend even though they're on opposite sides now. Okay, that's an interesting thing to note here. Oh well, whatever. Unlike you, the crane's actually smart. Yidong's perfume won't be able to hide me out there, so as soon as I open the window, they'll probably know where I am. She opens it. Come here, Crane. Okay. It descends. Come on, let's go. In that moment, Enkidu realized something when he heard her voice. This was no longer the same Amizu as before. The woman that Enkidu thought was pathetic for just staring out the window all day. Her whole body was bursting with vitality and energy. Her voice was brimming with confidence, and her eyes shone like sapphires. The excitement of finally venturing out into the outside world again awoke the old Amizu. This must have been what she was like, back when she was climbing the tower. This is the Amizu that Traumerei wanted to desperately keep by his side. And yet here she was prepared to abandon him and leave the castle without even the slightest hesitation. Seeing her so eager to leave in that moment. And we've seen this dark aura around Enkidu a bunch. Enkidu suddenly became very irritated. He felt a wave of uncontrollable emotion swelling inside him. Oh god, we're coming to the end. Are we gonna get cliffhung? Okay. We have at least a little teeny bit more. We're like toward the bottom of the page here, though. Man, I don't want this chapter to end. Okay, we have the crane. I think character-wise, I love last chapter so much. But character-wise, this chapter might be the best of the flashback so far. This is so good. Okay. He's actually on the crane with her. What is the plan? Is the plan to go back to V and Arlen and see what they're doing? Like, I didn't expect them to go this far, really. Traumerei's looking up. Amizu, where are you going? And we get cliffhung there? God, I need to know more. It's not enough. Let me remove this so you can see the credits. Jeez, that was so good. I didn't even have a long Haku intro when we're pushing 30 minutes on this recording. That was so good. Yeah, well, I guess I don't really have much else to say that I won't say in some sort of discussion or something. I feel like I'm bad at coming up with things to say at the end of the video as a discussion. I really need some time to sit on the chapter a little while and think about it a little bit. But like I was saying, I think this is the best one character-wise so far. Like, there's been some good Traumerei stuff, but we already knew a lot about Traumerei, and the Amizu stuff here is so good. The Enkidu stuff at the end was really good. The Arie Hon stuff, the Merchia stuff, and then Yirang might have been the highlight, much like Edwan was the highlight last time. Edwan was still fun here too, as well. Like, this is so good. I've said a bunch that at 650 I was going to try to organize another character poll, and last time we had 17,000 votes. I'm hoping that with Season 2 of the anime bringing in more people, maybe with more of us in the Tower of God community working together, I'm hoping that if and when I do it, should be when, not if. I'm hoping to get more than 17,000. I want to do better than last time. And I just feel like the family heads, people are going to vote for them. The family heads are going to be high in the character poll, aren't they? They're so good. Like, I am legitimately enjoying these characters so much more than our main group. And it's like, I think that's just because something that I mentioned in the stream yesterday, something that I've mentioned a lot recently, is seeing the family heads here. Their friendship and their interactions feel so much more genuine than anything we've seen from Bam and his friends in Season 3. In Season 3, it just feels like Kon and Rak are following Bam around, a couple of the others might follow Bam around, but we haven't had a lot of those friendship moments like we had in Season 1. There was a lot of them interacting in really genuine ways. Season 2, just an absolute ton of them interacting in genuine ways. Bam made good friends on the Hell Train, but he made incredible friends before that with Novik. Novik was like a really good friend through the workshop battle stuff. Before that, Team Tang Suyuk's basically his family. They lived together for like years, probably, and climbed a chunk of the tower together. Like, a good 20% or something of Bomb's climb was with Team Tang Soo-yuk. Like, we had all these moments with them, and we've been starved for that. Season 3 is over 200 chapters long, and we just really haven't gotten that with Bomb and his allies. Like, even Kun and Rak feel sometimes more just like business associates than actual close friends at times. And those are supposed to be the closest ones to him. I think, honestly, maybe Andrasi is the most actual close to Bomb that it feels like in Season 3. And honestly, she's only been here for like a quarter of it. Ah, man. So it's like seeing these characters, I don't know, like that's something I've said a lot for Season 3 too, because it's before this flashback, before this even, when you ask me what characters in the post-hiatus era do I like, I'm not thinking about our recurring characters that have been around. You know what characters I'm going to say I've loved? Dumas, Tiara, Lobadan. I am more intrigued in and Yama. Yama's a returning character, but I'm more intrigued with what Yama's doing character-wise than Bomb, Kun, or Rak. Going before that to like the Nest and stuff, or before the Nest and stuff, it's like, I'm interested in what Tsu's doing with Joaquin here. I'm interested in Hatsu. Like, Hatsu's got some cool stuff. Cha had a couple neat things, but didn't get too much. There was some stuff. I wasn't the biggest fan of everything that happened with Dewan, and neither were a lot of people, but Dewan, I think, is a lot better on rereading after sitting on it for a while, but also the fact that even if I didn't like all of it, Tsu put a lot of time and effort into it. There was a lot of effort put into Dewan's character, at the very least. Even before that, so many of the side characters, Yama specifically in the cage, incredible. Yama was incredibly well done. That's not even talking about Yasracha, one of the best characters of Season 3. It's like, we have so many of these characters that climbed and were there through almost all of Seasons 1 and 2 that we've seen barely anything from, or if they've been around, like, what's the writing been with them? The writing hasn't been that amazing. The actual character work with them hasn't been that great compared to the new characters introduced. These new side characters being introduced have been incredible in Season 3. That is, I think, like Season 3's greatest strength, is these new introduced side characters have just been really, really good, especially when we get flashbacks for some of them, like the Yasracha flashback, now like this flashback. Again, I guess I should mention Trauma just being really, really, really well done as a character in Season 3. Like, that's the strength, and I just want to see that for our main cast again, because right now it feels like our main cast feels so much less interesting and in some ways less developed than these side characters that have been crushing it. But yeah, that was a little bit off topic, but that's just another thing that this chapter is making me think, because this is just yet another chapter of these new side characters being given to us, with Amizu that we didn't know like anything about just a couple chapters ago. Now her being amazing this chapter, Enkidu, who we barely knew anything about a couple dozen chapters ago, being really great, Merchia, who we knew of but we didn't really know, like all of these characters. Again, same with Ahone or Yirang, who we didn't even have her name confirmed in the actual main story, just being incredibly well done. Like, this is another chapter that just demonstrates all of Season 3's really great, amazing strengths writing-wise, and I kind of want some of those strengths to extend back to our main characters at some point. I really, really do. But either way, that's just a roundabout way of saying this chapter was absolutely incredible. Again, Tsu really in his wheelhouse in terms of doing what Season 3's been doing best, writing-wise. It was very, 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 very good. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed the chapter. Like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of my thoughts, the chapter itself, my first reaction and all that. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much, much more on the channel. I do have more streams planned, and I want to get more Tower of God creators in on them. Like I said, I'll do a video on Season 1 of the anime, well, Episode 1 of the anime Season 2 tomorrow. So I'll have that up tomorrow for you all. I need to go get this edited and posted, because it ended up being kind of a long one. I expected, without the need for a long Haku intro, that this one wouldn't be this long, but here we are. Subscribe, like I said. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can drop a super thanks down below if you want to. Or if you want One Piece videos a bit early and to get a shout out at the end of each video. I'm sorry, I still have forgotten to update this patrons card. I really need to. I don't think there's anybody new, but I think some of you might need new crowns here. But again, you know, hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/HakuofTheTubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already patrons and members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, Magical Girls, FR Nono, Abyss Knight, and JA, Jerryton Students, David Langstaff and Folded Goal, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element, Pate Ardial. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.